Opens are not very reliable, especially post 2021, when iOS started opening your emails, whether you were actually reading them or not. And so our open rates can be a little deceiving, but the click-through rate is still ours for now.
I'm excited today to be joined by Jessica Best, email strategist and owner of BetterAv. Jessica, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here, and I need to pause for a moment and just ask if you could show everybody your t-shirt very briefly.
This is my favorite thing. This is my job as email. I am email marketing Barbie. That's my claim to fame.
Well, I love it, and thank you for sporting the correct attire here. I think it's absolutely on point, and I'm so excited to talk to you about email because, I do believe you are one of the foremost experts on the topic.
So, I'm the nerdiest. I get the most excited. I think that's definitely true.
Yeah, enthusiasm is very important. So I love it. So I thought we could dive right in. And if you could just share some of the strategies or techniques that you find to be particularly effective when it comes to email marketing.
Yeah, so this is such a great place to start because I think sometimes we get so mired in what are the best subject lines? And that's a whole art of testing and kind of optimizing. So for me, I tend to take one step back, and instead of saying, how long should our emails be? Or is a blue button or a red button better? We take one step back and think there are two things that I know work in email marketing, and both of them have to do with data. The first one is anything that I say has been tested. Anything that I tell you to do, you should still test. Audiences are different. Email campaigns are different. Messaging works differently with different audiences. So I would say that testing is sort of that secret sauce that works whether you're in email marketing or in any channel. And I don't want to lose that when it comes to what works in email marketing. We know that testing the message length or whether we think urgency works more than a discount. Those are the types of things that we have to know by campaign or by audience. The second one is, I actually see this all the time. I do audits for people's email marketing programs. And one of the first things I say is, this is not just about looking at what you're doing. There's an opportunity probably in what you're not doing. And so many of the people that I evaluate are just not using automation yet. So you might have a welcome series, or if you're an e-commerce or B2C company, you probably have a birthday email. Restaurants love our birthday emails. But I think there's kind of a fall off after that. I think B2B, we think about lead nurture, but there's so many other beautiful opportunities to let automation sort of lead the way, data lead the way in connecting with our customers once they've signed up.
I love that you brought up that email marketing audit because I think you're right. I think a lot of people are missing great opportunities. So if somebody is thinking, you know what, I need that, like how would they get started with an email marketing audit? What would you recommend?
Yeah, so I will just tell you the structure. I have done these. This is like partially why I went out on my own. I love doing this. This is so fun. But there's 6 components to it, right? And again, I think it's really easy to think about auditing what your emails look like or what they say. That is one component, but there are 6. So one is creative. One is cadence. How often should I send? Is it working how often I'm sending it now? And if I sent more often, could I make even more money from email marketing? And that's not always the case, right? We have to kind of balance that with what our results say. Then there's also the automation opportunity, of course, and then acquisition. This is another big area of opportunity in email. If you know your email marketing is just slaying, great. How do I send more of it? How do I buy more of it? Well, you can't. You have to grow your list. Like you have to gain that permission every time to get somebody to opt in. Once you got those 4, there's 2 more that I always take a look at. One is, how are we reporting on our success? What do we celebrate? And does the person who decides whether I get a bonus or not agree that those are my metrics for success, right? How do we sort of tell the right story to those around us in the organization? And the last one is just marketing technology and tech in general. Email marketing is maybe the only channel that has to worry about deliverability, which is a beast. So making sure that we're set up with things like authentication, double checking that our emails are going to the inbox and not to a spam folder. There's tools for all kinds of things like that. And then just making sure that you're using the right email platform. I mean, I can't tell you how many people that come to me and are using a very common entry-level email platform, and they're at like 500,000 contacts. I'm like, there's so much more out there. Let me show you these other platforms. So it's a pretty fun way to take a real deep look at your own program.
Yeah. And I love that you brought up the fact that even within your own audience segments, like auditing that and determining, one list might like more emails or might like a different type of email. So really thinking about the goal of each individual segment and understanding how they might be different. I think that's really great insight. So
Well, and it's journey,
awesome.
right? Like,
Yeah.
how many years have we been saying, like, we need content that aligns with every moment in the customer journey? We need those moments of opportunity. Who better than email marketing? I can literally watch you as you click on things that are moving you further down the funnel. I can track where you're at and pick up where you left off. That's such a powerful tool. So for us to be able to sort of look at this and think, well, my newbies may not want something every day, but those people who are paying me for my monthly subscription may want something every day. It totally depends on where they are with the relationship that they have with you.
Yeah, and that's a great point too. Like we always think of content and website content as focused on the buyer's journey, but email needs to be too. So
Right. That's absolutely right.
fantastic. Yeah. So I'm going to be a nerd here for a second and look at my notes, but I saw you speak in 2018 at Content Jam, and you said two really awesome things that I highlighted, and I just wanted to bring those back because I feel like they're still very relevant today. So the first was use more data. So I think you already touched on that a
Yeah.
little bit.
At least I'm consistent.
Yeah, right. The second one is to listen to what people are clicking on. And I think that is just such a fantastic way to think about it. So, can you talk a little bit? I mean, you kind of mentioned how you follow what people are clicking on, but when you say you listen, like, how do you do that? And how can somebody else give that a try? And what would you recommend from that standpoint?
Yeah, so this is tied to, and I love that in like 2018, apparently I was already predicting that opens were not going to be the future of email marketing, but opens are not very reliable, especially post 2021 when iOS started opening your emails, whether you were actually reading them or not. And so our open rates can be a little deceiving, but the click through rate is still ours for now. And I think that's so unique to email marketing. If I send you something, and forgive me, I have a bunch of restaurant clients, so I'm going to use a food example. But if I send you an email and there is a burger section and a taco section, and I see that Janice is clicking on the taco section every single time, what have I learned about Janice? All of that is stuff that we can track and learn. And while entry-level platforms make that just a little bit harder, you can still do it manually. You can always look at your link click report and start adding people to lists, especially if you're B2B. It's probably worth doing a little bit of manual labor and sharing that information with a sales team or a call center. On the flip side of that, when you're ready, there are platforms like a HubSpot or a Pardot that basically listen for that or give you the opportunity to create automations that will listen for that. And then it's game on, right? Like, I know you clicked on 14 taco links and only 5 hamburger links. So I kind of start to build this profile entirely permission based. Like, there's nothing sneaky about this, right? You're clicking on things on my website that you were interested in. And this helps get more and more relevant. So every email I send you actually gets a little bit better for you. And it's a win-win. I send better emails, you like them more, you click on them more, you buy more tacos. So it's a really cool synergy of being able to deliver on what somebody's actually interested in. And that happens whether it's food or home building or a long B2B sales cycle for something.
I love that. That's really awesome information. And I think I would choose tacos. I'm not sure. I really like a burger. How about you? What would you choose?
I'm
Burgers or
probably a burger
tacos?
girl myself. Like, there's just not a lot that beats like a good smash burger.
I agree. Although the one thing that tacos have for them is that there's so many different kinds, right?
Right.
Like you could have breakfast taco. I don't know.
You can have
Wow.
kind of a lot of variety on the burger side. Like, the first thing I thought is I'm making a quinoa mushroom barbecue burger next week for my lunch meal prep. So
Wow.
yeah,
Look at you.
you can have a lot of different kind of burgers too. I mean, maybe through my clicks, this is a great example. Applebee's actually, through their clicks, learns whether you are opted in or opted out for alcohol content. So we have to discern whether you're 21. If we don't have a birth date on file, we don't send you anything that's alcohol related. Easy, dynamic, data-driven email stuff. But then what about those people that are no longer interested in alcohol or have never been interested in alcohol? That's as easy as a click. That's a preference that they can set. They don't have to go to a preference center. They don't have to call and complain to a manager. They can click something and say, actually, just skip margaritas for me. That's not my jam.
I love that. That's fantastic. And great example too.
Yeah.
You're bringing all the real examples to us
That's
here today.
right.
All right, so we are coming up on about 10 minutes. So I want to keep this short and impactful, like I said. So thank you so much for joining me today, Jessica. I will absolutely post all the information in the show notes so you can connect with Jessica and learn more. But yeah, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, for asking great questions, and for keeping your notes from Content Jam.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. All right. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
You too.